to BuzzBooster TV.
I'm Shahar.
And I'm Nash.
And on today's show,
the
new changes on Google and how it affects your website.
SEO changes.
Yeah. What else?
What else?
We're going to California. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes.
And some business choreography.
Business choreography.
And a cool tool for you.
And a cool tool.
Enjoy. So what's up?
Well, next week we're going to California.
Well, that's pretty good, right?
That is always fun.
Yeah, it's good because the weather there is always so good.
So much better than here.
Yeah, here we are having 97, 100 almost every single day.
Yeah, not
which
fun.
doesn't make life very easy. We are going for a conference there.
Yes, going to a conference.
Some very cool interviews for our other show.
Interviews for our other show. Then we're going to the Mitsuya Japanese marketplace.
Yes, it's our little secret, right?
Yes, it's our little known secret.
We like to eat udon and have fun at the bookstores. Not that we read Japanese, we don't.
And go to they have like a big grocery store type place, and it's just so much fun to browse through and see the different things.
Yeah. And actually it's pretty good for a change, you know.
Yeah.
People say that change happens for change to happen, you need to change the environment.
Yeah.
And I actually think every time we travel, it helps a lot because it's like the brain gets free to think about other stuff.
Yeah, it gives you a fresh perspective. I don't know. You start looking at things a little differently because you're outside your environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so because a lot of times, let's say you drive the same route every day and things like that. I mean, you see the same things, and a lot of times your thoughts are similar. The routine kind of keeps you that way.
Yeah.
When you go somewhere else, somewhere different, then everything is new, everything's fresh, and you start exploring new ideas, new concepts, and
there's always that
good.
kind of energy thing that you can go to the beach and walk on the sand too, which is pretty awesome too.
Yeah.
Yes, you know, it's always important for you to think about that. When things need to change, maybe change the environment a little bit for a while. And you don't have to go on a 5-day trip or anything. Like,
no.
What do we do on weekends? Most of our weekends when
we hop on the car and go on a road trip.
We go on a road trip where we do geocaching and wildlife photography, and most of all we do is, they're both hobbies, but we do this just to be able to, you know, get into the mode of something different. Not only that, for all the challenges with the geocaching, the challenge of finding the little doodads there. And with the wildlife photography, is searching for that perfect picture or for that animal that you're after, puts you in the mode that yes, we can do this kind of stuff. We can be challenged and we can accomplish things. So when you go back to your business environment, you have just another attitude, and that's pretty cool.
That's right. And you know, a lot of times these road trips, I mean, it's not that we're going super far away or anything. I mean, we're just going a little bit outside. Yeah. We're still in Utah. We're still in Salt Lake. We just go a little bit outside, but we go seeking that perfect picture or the different geocaches, or basically sometimes just on a ride somewhere different, somewhere where we can put ourselves at ease and not feel pressured about anything, and just think new things.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not even business related, and that's, I think, the important part. It doesn't necessarily always have to be about business. I mean, when you own your own business, sometimes that's like a big thing. It's pretty much all you think and talk about. But put yourself in those situations where you're doing something else, your focus is elsewhere, and that allows your brain to recharge. So when you do focus on your business, you come with a different approach.
Yes, exactly. So you know what? This next weekend, go change something.
That's right.
Okay, so you probably heard about Google Penguin changes, and maybe your site was affected, maybe not, but let's review some things you should be doing in order to be ranking well on the search engine, especially Google, because you know that buyers are searching for you right now, and if they cannot find you, you have a big problem as a business owner. The very first thing you need to understand is that duplicate content is a no-no right now. Meaning that when you're feeling a little lazy and don't want to write your blog post, you go to somebody else's site, grab the whole post and post on yours. It's not going to benefit at all, because if that page is already indexed, Google will not index yours. Duplicate content is a big no-no, to the point of maybe it would be a good idea to see if people have used your posts in their own blogs and maybe ask them to remove, because that's a big problem. Another thing you want to check is sorry, it just escaped my mind, the anchor text on your post. For example, when you use 2 or 3 keywords and you highlight and link to a page inside your website or outside your website, well, you need to see for that specific keyword, if you have more than 20% of that keyword in your blog post, comparing to all the others, because then you might be slapped, meaning that Google will de-rank you from that keyword, and you don't want that. Okay, so what you can do is go back, take those out, or just keep the ratio on a balanced way. Okay, another thing is where you link to. It's still very good to link to EDU sites, for example. They carry a lot of weight, but be very, very careful for buying links in link directories. That's a big no-no. Even bookmarking and submitting articles to article directories, be careful and don't overdo it, because that can cause problems for you. Okay, so you want to be careful where you link to. Very, very, very careful where you link to. Unless they're reliable sites, they carry a good page rank, you want to avoid that a little bit. And most of all, you want to be using social media, okay? It's very, very important. Just do this test. If you go to Google and type any kind of keyword with, like for example, wedding photography, and you're logged into your Gmail account, take a look at what pops up, and then logged out and do exactly the same search. What you're going to see is that when you're logged in, Google will pull results from the social media environment, specifically Google+. So friends that you have, connections that you have that are related to wedding photography will pop first. Well, if you're not using social media, and for example, you're not using Google+, then when your friends type for the type of service or product that you offer, you just don't show up, and you don't want to do that. It actually tracks other things, even the ratio of following versus followers. It needs to be all very balanced. It needs to show that you're really interacting and carrying a conversation as a brand, other than just trying to go after people. The same thing actually happens in Bing concerning Facebook. It pulls the results from your Facebook connection first. So you have to be using social media. You know, stop worrying so much about keywords. They are important, yes. For example, if you want to go after a keyword on your blog post, you want to start with that keyword on the title, okay, and not someplace in the title, right at the beginning. But be careful, don't overdo it, and use more of social media, and your site should be ranking really well on Google in a very short time. Shall we talk a little bit about business choreography now?
Yes,
We had a cool experience the other day, right?
We did. We went for lunch, as we do always, at this time at Famous Dave's.
Yes.
We don't go there very often,
No.
but so we went there. Shahar wanted to eat a brisket, and so
brisket.
we went. And we weren't greeted by this person, but there was one gal there who basically greeted every table behind us, but not ours. And it was very interesting how she did it, how her approach. I mean, she basically, when she was there with the guests and she was telling them about the specials, it was very exciting to listen her tell that. I mean,
it was actually the table just behind us, right?
Yeah.
That was being served by her. And she was, besides being all friendly and nice, well, how did she go with the choices?
So that's basically, she would go, hey, listen, the soup of the day is this, whatever. But then she'd go, the rice, the wild rice, it's to die for.
I eat it every day.
I eat it every day. And then we
so
saw
delicious.
With a different table, she would go, so she would change her spiel every time. So with a different table, she's like, oh, and the bread pudding, I don't remember what it was.
They had a banana bread pudding.
Oh, the
that
banana
was
bread.
Something, yeah.
The banana bread is so delicious. It reminds me of my grandma. Do you remember desserts by your grandma? And
Fantastic, because she was going to an emotional level with
Yeah.
them. You know, bringing childhood memories.
Yeah.
Connecting with family values.
That's right. I mean, she worded it better than what I just did, but essentially that's what she was doing. She was making, and when she asked that question about the grandma, everyone at the table, the husband, the wife, the kids, they were all like, yeah. So they were totally engaged in what she was saying, and basically how she was letting them know about the daily specials. specials.
Yeah, it was really fantastic because
Yes.
not only she had energy and she was nice, you know, she was going into resources like I do it, so you should do it, and it's fantastic. I did it every day. And
Yeah.
the best one was about the pudding because she went back to the grandma thing and cooking for other people. Well, you guess what? She was not our waiter. Actually, our waiter was very forgettable.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was a man or a woman, but we got the wild rice.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't get the pie
Yeah,
because
we
that
actually-
would be too much for us.
That's right. We ended up making the selection of what we were going to eat based on what we heard her say to the other table.
Yes.
Not so much because of our guy or our gal or whatever, but because of her. Because it was so engaging. It was so real. It was
Yeah.
so honest.
Unfortunately, it was not a choreography, an intentional choreography. What you had there was one waiter that was proactive,
Yeah.
right, and was doing her job right, and was, you know, engaging people into eating
Yeah.
what was sold in that place while the others were not.
Yeah.
But the right way would be that the restaurant would train those waiters to
Yeah.
be more like this one. You see, and put that there as a choreographer. Why not talk about grandma when you're talking about dessert?
Yeah.
Famous Dave's is funny because they do a lot of cool things. They have a
Yeah.
club, so a
The-
membership-based
yeah.
thing. They use QR codes, right?
Yeah, they have several promotions. I mean, they have the way they word things to get their customers involved. I mean, even their membership program. I don't remember. It's called VIP.
Yeah,
but it's
something,
like
yeah.
very important pig or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that where it keeps it entertaining for you.
Uh-huh.
And so
So they do a lot of good stuff.
They do a lot of good things, but they could implement a little bit more of this business choreography and get their servers really on that same, because here's what's happening. When you see their written material, when you read anything in there or the environment itself, when you're just looking and absorbing all that stuff visually, it's very exciting, it's very entertaining, it's very cool. But then when it comes down to the server, there's a it's disrupted.
Disconnection
The
there.
disconnection in the message, because the service you're getting doesn't necessarily represent the coolness that you're seeing.
Yes.
And
Unless you were lucky enough to get that girl
Unless you're lucky enough to get that
on your
gal.
table.
But
So
see,
why not make that the rule, right?
that's exactly it. I mean, they got lucky because they have that gal. But really, if you made that the rule, then everything would gel and it would work
A little
wonderfully
training and thinking how you could approach. You know, the waiter is in touch with your customer.
Yeah.
Based on that, they will come back or not, they will buy more or not, they will drink more or not.
Yep.
They are extremely important. So they shouldn't be just, oh, this is how you take orders, this is how you get it paid. No. You know, you could have all that ritual and all that choreography insert into that and just sell more and have more happy customers.
That's it. And you know, it's like that kind of thing happens a lot with, especially restaurants. I mean, they think that because they're going to send a manager around, because not pretty much every restaurant does this, where they think that just because they're going to send a manager around, it's like for 30 seconds and say everything all right with your meal, they think that because they're going to do that, that they're creating that connection with the client, the customer. But really what they don't realize is that the server, who comes and goes very, very often, is really the gateway between you and the restaurant. And really that's what should be worked on the most. Whether or not a manager comes like for 30 seconds during your entire 40 minutes that you're there, really doesn't matter.
Right.
So they really should work that.
out. Now, I know, you don't have a restaurant, so you don't have waiters to work on.
No, but here's the
Doesn't
thing.
matter.
No, it doesn't matter because it totally applies to you.
Exactly. Whatever you have, whatever is your business, you need to think, where are the touch points with my customers and prospects, and how can I improve that in a way that happens always the same way and works as a choreography to bring more sales.
That's right. Well, touch points, like Shahar was saying, and also a lot of what we were talking about of why this was so cool, it's because it was emotional. And so how can you connect emotionally when you have those touch points with your audience?
Exactly. Okay, so think in your business how you can do that.
All right, so cool tool. I actually have a couple things that I'd like to share with you today. So you heard Shahar talk about finding out if you were slapped by Google Penguin, if of all those changes and things like that. And a lot of times, I think when she said that, the first question that came to my mind was, how do I know if I was slapped, if something happened to me? Aside from the fact that maybe the leads aren't coming in anymore, how do I know? So there are a couple things that you can do. For starters, you could go to Google and basically do a search, a simple search like links, and then your website address. And it will show you all of the pages that have links towards your website. All of the websites that are linking to your website. So if all of a sudden you have like 7 links, 7 pages linking back, you know immediately that something happened because they removed all of the websites that were linking back to you, and so then you know that you've been slapped, and that's not good, right? Well, it at least gives you a starting point because now you know, okay, now I have to worry about this, I have to fix it. But that's one of the ways to check. The other thing that you can do is, there's a company out there called SEO Moz, S-E-O-M-O-Z. I believe it's SEOmoz.com. But they provide several tools that you can use, that you can put if you're using the Firefox browser, several extensions that you can add that will allow you also to check certain things. Not necessarily only if you've been slapped, but really if you've been ranking. They have several tools that we use pretty much on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis, where you can see how you rank. They have what they call the rank checker, and you can type in, you can plug in certain words that you want to rank for, and you can plug in your website, and it will tell you which page are you coming up. Are you coming up? Are you ranking for that page? It'll tell you for Yahoo, for Google. And so it gives you data like that. You can export that, which is very helpful if you want to go a little bit in depth in the analysis. They have other tools that will, they have their toolbar actually I really like. That's the one I use the most because it has pretty much everything built in. It has the SEO Moz, it has the compete stuff, it has other tools that you can click on and find out more data and more information about your website and how you rank. But so do install that, do use that tool. Also go on Google, perform that little search string, links, your website, because then you'll know if your website, if there are other websites linking into your website, and that'll be the beginning of this process of, have I been slapped by Google Penguin?
Well, that's it. Another episode.
Yep, another episode of BuzzBooster TV. This was fun.
Yeah, it was fun, and I hope you enjoyed.
Yes.
And I hope you took some notes so you can apply the same in your business. And don't forget
to get our free gift at bestbuzzgift.com. Bestbuzzgift.com. It's going to show you how to create an irresistible business.
Yes.
It's really a very cool gift. So go get it.
Yeah. See you next time.
See ya.